There's no going
So you
back.
can do what you wanna do.
Okay, for the lips, we're going to do a very similar thing with the lips that we did with the eye, and that was to put down, we're going to put down a basic even tone across the lips, because there's very little strong white highlight on the lips. I'll show you on the tablet. If you can see that, we've got a little bit of a strong highlight there and there, but the rest of it is pretty much even toned with some very strong lowlights. So I'm going to fill the lips in with the mid-tone first, and then I'm going to come back and do the strong contrast. Right, I did that with my 8B. I'm now going to go back down to the 4B, make sure it's nice and sharp. And we'll get started on the detail. Okay folks, I think that's a good place to stop for today. we'll come back tomorrow and we will finish off that eye and we'll start doing some of the basics of the hair. I just want to draw your attention to a couple of things that I haven't spoken about yet. Just general things about portraiture. Have a look at this line. Most lips have got quite a lightish line just above the lips, so you need to look out for that, generally speaking. I've also, in this area here, I haven't made it quite as dark as what it is in the photograph. I've done that on purpose. And the reason for that is because this particular picture was taken on mine and John's wedding day, and Siobhan was wearing a little bit of makeup. John and I have both been in previous relationships. Our children come from separate relationships, and Siobhan was 8 years old at the time, and she'd had a little bit of mascara on. And her stepsister, John's eldest daughter, took this photograph of her. And so yeah, I left out that sort of slightly darkish area there where some of the makeup had made her skin go slightly darker. I didn't want to make her look too old. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is the eyelashes. Eyelashes tend to be overstated by artists. They tend to want to draw like spider's legs on the eyes. So when you're drawing portraiture, it's a good idea to just take special notice of where the eyelashes are and how short they actually really are. Because if you make them longer than what they actually are, no matter how long they are in real life, then you tend to make the person look a lot older or possibly more glamorous than what you intend to look. I know I did a drawing of Siobhan some time ago, and I made that mistake, and in that drawing she looks so much older than she was at the time. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is the outlines. If you notice, the outlines are quite soft. There's not a sudden line around the outline of the face. That's partly due to the fact that she's actually on a dark background, but it's also I do it on purpose. Solid outlines are not your friend. It's like everything in nature. Nature isn't outlined. So when you draw your portraiture and you put your background in, then just let it bleed a little bit onto the face so that you're not getting a hard line around the edge of the face. This area here, I'm going to leave that for the moment. I actually think the drawing might look quite nice if that's left relatively unfinished. So we'll have another look at that when I get to, once I've done all the hair and I get to put all this background in. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there tonight. It's now well after midnight. For you it's just been a couple of minutes to watching, but for me it's been a good something like 6 or 7 hours worth of drawing. So I'm going to go and get some shut eye, and tomorrow I will carry on with the other eye and the rest of the hair. So thank you so much for joining me, folks. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying having done this little drawing. It's one thing that this challenge is doing, is making darn sure that I get to work every day on a drawing. So it's giving me some motivation. So thank you once again. Please like and share and comment and let me know what you think of this little drawing. I'm also going to put the photograph that I'm working from that was taken of Siobhan. I'm going to put that into my album on my Facebook page, and please feel free to download it. I'll put the grid version as well as the non-grid version. Please feel free to download it and go ahead and draw it. Siobhan would love it to know that she's been drawn by various people all over the place. And take a photograph of it and attach it to a comment in on the timeline. It'll be really good to see what you've done and how these little lessons are helping you. However, don't do that before we've done the hair. I think the hair, it's a real labour of love, and I'm looking quite forward to doing that, so I'm leaving it until last. So, good night, folks. Have a good evening. Have a good night, wherever you are in the world, and we will see you tomorrow.
That's what you want to do.